The following is a presentation of the Missouri Sports Network.
Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, brought to you by Great Southern Bank. Great Southern Bank with more than 100 locations in 6 states. They care as much about your money as you do. Great Southern Bank, member FDIC. And coming to you live from the Pizza Ranch studio. Pizza Ranch hosting all of our quarterback clubs, tip-off clubs, and lead-off clubs throughout this past season, and will continue to do so this season as well. And to the show here for our fall previews, we bring in the Republic Tigers head football coach, Ryan Cornelson. And Coach, thanks so much for your time today.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
Coach, you're entering into your third year, and maybe what is considered the toughest, well, not even maybe, it's considered the toughest conference in the state of Missouri with regards to football and really all sports. But kind of give us your impression with 2 years under your belt, what it's been like.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's a tough conference. Each week, you got a tough opponent. Whether they're at the top of our conference or the bottom, they're still got even the bottom of our conference plays really good football, and so I do think it makes it exciting. You got a big game every week. You have to play well every week. I think that makes you better. But there's no doubt it's tough, but it's also exciting because the competition week in and week out.
Going back to last year just for a second, you kind of wind down that season. You go on a 5-game winning streak there and put you in the Class 5 state tournament. You'd beat some teams or a team anyway, that had beaten you earlier in the year. Talk about last season and how you guys just kind of rounded into shape right there towards the end of the year.
Yeah, I felt like through the season we got better. We depending on our personnel and kind of what our strengths are, we adjust year to year a little bit. And so those first few games for us are somewhat tough because it's not always something, we're not just, triple option or just gun, so we kind of meshed with what we have. And so I felt like we got through those first 3 or 4 weeks and had played well at times, just hadn't put games together. And then got to a stretch there that towards the end, we were playing pretty well and found a way to beat some of those top-end teams in our conference and then in district. So it was an exciting year. It was, the kids won some games that they haven't won around here in a while, and so it made it exciting. And we did it. They were close games. It was nail biters, and so those were exciting to win. And so it was a good year for us, and hopefully something we build on this year.
And you got 2 of the top monsters again in your first 3 games. Although this year you get them at home. Talk about what you lost last year and what you're going to have to replace, due to graduation, and maybe who are some of them kids stepping into those roles.
Yeah, we lost a really good and a big senior class. I think we lost 26 seniors, and a lot of those guys. I mean, we played a lot of them, so it was a big hit from graduation. Some of the obvious ones that stand out is our running back Connor Sandridge was a really good player for us, tough physical back. And so he carried the ball a lot, and he when we needed tough yards, he was our guy. And so that's tough on the offensive side of the ball. And Gunnar Ellison was our playmaker, man. He made a lot of plays as a slot receiver, as a reverse guy. So those are 2 big weapons offensively that we'll have to try to figure out who's going to step in and play those roles. And then a little bit on both sides of the ball. Dean Markham was our tight end, defensive tackle, was a big physical kid. And then our linebacker, Cooper Douglas, is definitely a tough hit. He's fast. He was a good linebacker. So we lost a big number of guys, but also some really key guys. So it was a big hit to graduation, but that allows for new guys to step in and have some roles, some new roles, and make some adjustments, move some guys around, and figure out what this year's. You kind of place those dominoes on this year's team and figure out who's going to go where. And we've been spending this summer trying to get that right.
Coach, you're a couple years into your tenure here in Missouri, coming over from another state, I believe Kansas, but coming in from there, now you've kind of gotten used to the rules and the schedule and things like that. What are some things that were maybe the toughest to get used to, And maybe what are some things maybe that you really like about the different profiles with regards to state competition?
I think, and again, I'm going mainly off our conference because that's the teams we've played. Plus, we turn around and play them again in districts. But I would say this area, the offensive defensive lines are really good. Like it's quite a bit better up front than the large classes I was in at the time in Kansas. So just comparing apples to apples, you get to Kansas City area, you're going to have a lot of really good skill players. You're going to have a lot of really good backs, and this league does too. But the offensive defensive lines in the COC are second to none, and so that's been an adjustment. Things that might have worked in Kansas, we've had to adjust how we do it just because D lines are quite a bit better, and it's the same thing with from a defensive line and a blitzing standpoint. People's offensive lines are really good, so that. Really, one of the I don't know about negative. One of the things that I struggle with coming from a different setup is, it's tough to play a conference schedule and then turn around and it's basically your exact district schedule. I think we added Parkview was the only team we added that wasn't in our conference, and so to me I don't know that I'm a big fan of that. I don't know if I don't have an answer, and I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just. That's been different to know you're going to have to play everybody twice do you change your game plan first time you play, all those things come into play. And in Kansas, I never really had to play anybody twice, at least not until I got deep in the playoffs would I have to play Derby twice some. But so that's one thing that I don't know that I've had to get used to, but it's just been drastically different.
Just a couple handfuls of days remaining in the summer with regards to football coaches. You're getting ready to kick it off here. What's your summer been like, and what do you have here to kind of finish out the summer before you go into that dead week?
Yeah, we're like everybody. We lift every day, and then we do our 20 football days. We're not a big 7-on-7 team. We don't do any of that. We do that within our own team. So we don't go to any tournaments, anything like that. We don't do the team camp. So really, it's just us working fundamentals. It's us working our schemes and those things in the summer. After we lift, and then to finish out the summer, we'll have a night there, our last eligible day to go with players. We call Friday Night Lights. We'll have our junior high kids out. We'll have our youth kids come do a combine, kind of a pep assembly, really, to finish out the summer and let before dead week, let everybody know, hey, it's almost here, and try to get our parents excited, our community excited, having all the young kids out there with the old kids. It's a cool environment. So that's kind of how we finish up the summer with I would call it a pep rally or something like that. And then give them a week off, and then we're ready to roll.
You feel like you're going to stay the same classification as a year ago in Class 5?
As far as I know, like I said, I try not to get too caught up in that. We'll play whoever we got to play. But from what I can tell, yes, but that doesn't always mean much.
Outstanding. Coach, what are you going to do over dead week? What, you taking a vacation, or are you just resting?
I will probably rest. I've got my daughter plays 3 sports here at the high school, and my son plays 3 sports at the middle school. So the summer, man, it's probably just as hectic for us as the regular school season. So it'll be nice just to be at home and maybe have a week that we don't. Either I'm coaching or they're playing, and just have a week to spend as a family at home. And so I'm looking forward to that.
And just real quickly before we go, do you know what your jamboree is, where it is, and who's involved?
Yeah, we don't jamboree, and
okay.
I might be the only one in Missouri that does that. There's a handful of us in Kansas that didn't do it. That's just basically my philosophy or my preference is to not do a jamboree. So we don't participate in that, and so I know it's a little different from almost every school in this area, but that's just how we do it. So,
well, you stay healthy and you stay a little bit more secretive.
Yeah, and really, I mean, to me, it's I go, you see the jamborees, people, they don't run their stuff, or they don't play their starters, and I just don't understand, like, what's the benefit if you're not going to play your guys. And I'm pretty competitive. Like, if I'm going to a jamboree, like, I'm trying to win. Like, so it puts me in kind of a weird environment. It doesn't count, and really the only way you ever remember a scrimmage is if something bad happens. So
Right.
you don't remember if you win, lose, but if somebody gets hurt, you're gonna remember that. So, and I lost it. We used to do it. We lost a kid, one of the state's best linebackers when I was at Hutch, and I said, all right, that's it. It's not worth that risk for me to lose a kid. He was supposed to take like 6 reps that scrimmage and got hurt in one of those 6, and I just wasn't worth it. I don't think there's a benefit enough to do it. So we don't do it.
I understand completely, Coach. And again, visiting with Coach Ryan Cornelson, a Republic Tigers head football coach. Coach, thanks so much for being generous with your time today, and I'm sure we'll talk to you at the quarterback club or somewhere down the road on Friday Night Lives. But Coach, thank you so much.
Hey, no doubt. I appreciate you having me.
You bet. Coach Ryan Cornelson, Republic High School football coach, and we'll be back after this.
This has been a presentation of the Missouri Sports Network. Thank you for tuning in.